Hi friends, my name is Suhey with Suhey Plans, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about my progress in my 2024 Power Sheets by Cultivate What Matters. I want to take you through my setup, and I'm using that word very loosely, and go through one of the goals that I've set for this year to kind of give you some inspiration for your own goal setting and how you're approaching your goals this year. I have the kids at home, so they might get a little noisy and you might hear them in the background. I've got a cup of coffee that I'm still working on. I don't expect this video to be too long, but I can certainly be a chatty Cathy sometimes. So hang in there, bear with me, and let's just jump right in. So I've got the 2024 Power Sheets in linen. I have an ollie clip here that's holding together holding the 2024 calendar at a glance, just keeping it front and center. I have in my pocket here, this is actually from a notepad, a daily notepad from Cultivate What Matters that I cut up for the schedule. So the reason that I cut these up is that there is a spread each quarter in the Power Sheet that asks you to review your routines, your daily routines. And there is 1 week every month of the year where my husband goes away for work, and my routines need to not completely, but my routines do need to shift during those weeks that he's away for work. And so what I want to do is I want to get down my regular routines on that spread, but I want to have these as like okay, those routines for this week don't apply, and I'm going to break these guys out for my daily routines during that week, a month that he goes away for travel. Because things do change when it's just one parent in the household. So the reason, and I'll kind of explain this, but I haven't solidified my routines because my work schedule is not ready yet. We have like some remote days every week, and those haven't been announced just yet. So when they do, I'm going to get my routines down, but I'll show you that spread when we get there. I have some tabs at the bottom. These are from Rosie Papeterie, and essentially they're just transparent tabs, sticky tabs that I've used to mark where my goals are by category. And let's see if I can show you that a little bit better there. Oops, there we go. So just like each of the categories for my goals, putting them down, marking them, with a tab. Up here, I also have another sticky tab where I've marked where all of my yearly goals are. I'm using the bookmark to just mark where I am in the book itself. I have a really nice name sticker here by According to Allie. Much prefer that over me writing my own name. And that's kind of what you see here. So I won't be able to show you everything as a disclaimer as well, because some things are a little bit more private, but I do want to go through a few things. I did some pen testing here up at the front, and I've diligently gone through all of the evaluation, all of the prep work, all of the, all of the cultivating part, all of the brainstorming, the mind work. I've gone through all of that. I started Power Sheets in November, and I was making changes to these goals right through the Christmas vacation. For me personally, it takes me a long time to come to my goals and hone in on what I want to work on. And I need to sit with my goals for a long time. So for me, having the availability to have my Power Sheets for 2 months was essential. So I have my goals here. I've decided to go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals for the year, just covering up one for privacy. But these are like the goals that I want to set this feels like a lot. Honestly, I'm still a little bit intimidated by having this many. But I do feel good. And again, I was changing these almost until the last minute of the year. So what I want to focus on, oh, well, let me kind of there's still more prep work. Oh, and then we jump into the goal pages. So I want to kind of to highlight one of the goals and how I went about thinking about this particular goal. So one of my goals for this year is related to finances and reducing my personal and household spending by about 15% for each month compared to 2023. So this goal sounds really specific, and I purposely did that. I think that, every year I feel like I want to spend less and be more conscious with my money. But I really needed to think about a way to definitively measure that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to aim for something very, very measurable. And that's why I thought about the 15% reduction per month compared to 2023, where I wasn't being as conscious with my spending. So there's some motivation here to achieve it. I hope to be a homeowner in the near future. And so, being conscious with our money is a very important skill and practice, honestly, if you want to, to achieve that goal. Things that I'll need time, expertise, advice, emotional capacity, help from others. This is an area related to finance. Success at the end of 2024 looks like credit card purchases being reduced by 15% each month from last year. I wrote some things that might get in the way, temptations from the planner community, losing focus and momentum, how I'll have fun, honestly envisioning us being homeowners, and like how I'll furnish and decorate my new home is really exciting. So I'll try to keep that in mind. But retail therapy is quite satisfying. So this is not going to be easy for me anyway. So the page on the right asks you to think about breaking down how you're going to go about this goal in every season of the year. Defining this by quarters. Some quarters are going to be easier than others. For example, January through March, I always find to be an easier year for low spend and no spend and being conservative about spending. Where I live, we have colder months, so we're inside more, we're doing less activities, we're inside more, so we're also cooking at home more. That we don't have anyone's big birthdays in this season, no anniversaries, no big celebrations that are happening in this quarter of the year. So this is a really good season for us to make progress on our financial goals. So I haven't, one of the mistakes that I made last year is that I went ahead and I filled out all the seasonal activity, like breakdown actions, and that was a mistake. I really need to wait for one season to come and go before I set actions for the next, and so on and so forth. But I do have some thoughts and some things I want to do in the future. So I just use a Powersheets Hon note sticky here to just like draft up some actions that I'm thinking about for season 2. I don't know what happened to the one for season 3. Let me see. I think I've got it in here somewhere. If not, I'll get to it later. Maybe, I don't know what happened to that sticky. I'll find it and I'll put it in there. But there should be a sticky here also for season 3. As I think about ideas for these seasons, I'll start jotting them down, but they won't go to paper until we're closer to that season of the year. Some actions that I'm taking in the first season, I want to list my monthly spending considerations. So like, again, this is not a season where there's a lot of celebrations or anniversaries and such, but this is but I should still write down spending considerations. So for example, the kids go back to school now. In like any minute now, they're going to release the club menu for after school activities. And so we always have to budget, fees for student clubs in January, and then when the school year starts in August. So that's like a spending consideration to think about for each month, because that really should influence the rest of your financial activity. I want to print out my credit card statement from all of 2023 so that I can actually compare those statement totals to what I spent in the month of 2024 to make sure that I'm underspending in comparison to last year. And I think doing this practice for a couple of months will really help me understand how I can change my behavior so that I can achieve that 15% reduction. Something I want to do, I'm tracking my personal daily spending every day in my Hobonichi Hon. And I'm going to show you that as well, because that planner and my Powersheets are a duo. I want to set a budget for my hobbies each month. I want to do some really consistent meal prepping and meal planning. That's such with a family of 4, takeout really adds up. Going out to eat really adds up. So it's going to be really important to focus on meal prepping. Thinking about our total monthly spending and making sure we're adding that up, and limiting takeout. We anticipate moving also in the first season of the year. And so I've written in fine print, limit takeout except during the move, because moving is really stressful and I do not want to cook while I'm also worried about moving. So other than that exception, but that's something that I am accounting for, and I'm going to try to be really conservative in the months that I'm not moving to make up for that time. So this is one of the reasons why I jumped back into Powersheets this year, and it's because of the goal breakdown, and thinking about this large, scary, maybe not so fun goal and breaking it down over the course of a year. I think that there are some of actions here that I'm definitely going to be carrying over from year to year, but there are going to be things that become less prioritized depending on the season of the year. Excuse me. So one of the things that I know, the meal planning and the meal prepping, that's going to be a lot harder probably in season 2 and season 3, just because summertime, we're out and about, we're traveling, even if it's locally, which will probably be where we travel this year. But our travels, enjoying the warm weather, being in the outdoors, it's just a little bit harder to make every meal a home cooked meal. So that's something that I'm going to prioritize in season 1 and season 4, because I know I don't have the capacity in season 2 and season 3, but being able to kind of see that and understand that, I think is incredibly helpful. And this is again that sticky tab with the word finances on it, so I can easily flip to my goal action plan as I go through my Powersheets for the year. So let's flip through past the goals to our word of the year. My word of the year is nourish. I found last year a little bit draining and depleting, and I'm hoping to find more nourishment for my mind, body, and soul in 2024. And I love that there's a place for it in this beautifully decorative page in the Powersheets. This is a 2-page vision board spread. I'm terrible at vision boards. I don't like them. I just don't feel like I can capture the things that I want for myself with like the stock images on the internet. I don't know, but that's just me. I think it's a valuable practice. It's just not something that I'm into. All right, so this is where we're starting to focus on routines, and thinking more about my routines is something that I want to work on for 2024. So I think this is really, really valuable, but it's not quite finished. And I think once I get my work schedule, I'll have more insights on what I want my routines to look like. Oh, and actually, I think I might have skipped those pages. Let me see if I can find them. Maybe I didn't. No, they're here. Okay. All right. So something I have. So this is now we're starting the January section of the planner. And we have like a monthly reset with an evaluation check-in, monthly calendar. Here is the routines spread. So let me just move those out of the way for you. So because my work schedule is not completely set in stone yet, I've just started drafting up. I just made a copy on my printer of this spread. And I just started writing in what I anticipate my schedule to look like. But then once I get that finalized schedule, I'll put those in. These kind of areas that have like, I don't know, these shape stickers is like flex time, and thinking about how to use that flex time during your week to the best of my abilities to achieve my goals. So I'm literally gonna jump right when my schedule is ready at work, because I'm feeling good about this routine I've laid out. And if you'd be interested in a video on setting routines and how I'm going about working on my routines this year, please let me know in the comments, because I also picked up the Cultivate What Matters Routines workbook, and I'm really looking forward to resetting my routines, and I'd be happy to share if there's an interest for that. All right, so then we get to the magic of it all, the tending list, and where you're breaking it down. So where you're writing your goal action plan, you're breaking it down by season, right, in quarters. Here in your tending list, you're doing like an even like smaller breakdown by month, by week, and by day. So some goals that you have for the month, things that you want to achieve each week, and then daily actions. And so on the left-hand side, I just wrote down what the goal is and what I wanted to do in this month for each of those goals. I've made some progress here and I'm just going to put my hand here because they're a little private still, but honestly, you know, I don't want to work. The things that I want to work on are not any different than the average mother or wife or person. But what is average, right? That's so relative. So anyways, so here I've broken things down, and as you can see, there's not a lot happening. And that's because I don't work on this every single day. And the month of January just started. It's only the 5th today. So but there are some things that I was like really motivated to do and I got done in this early week of the year. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back once a week or once every 2 weeks and just fill in my progress. I am not intending for my power sheets to be something that I am in every single day. What I'm doing instead is that I am in the Hobonichi Hon every day. And this is where I'm documenting everything in relation to my goals that I will then transfer over to the power sheets. So let me kind of give you an example. So my daily actions here are a no spend, writing every day in my kids' 5-year journal, and writing my journal entry in my Hon. And I haven't filled anything in here, but I'm certainly tracking it in the Hon. And then at the end of each week, or just once every 2 weeks, I'm going to go back and update my power sheets. Let's see. So I have little stickies. These are from Hemlock Oak, and I am keeping track of my trackers on these stickies in my Hon that I'm in every single day. And then what I'll do is I'll just take this sticky note, update my habit tracker in my power sheets, and then I'll toss the sticky. And that way I'm not, I don't want to have the burden of needing to look at this every single day. I'm using the Hobonichi to look at it every single day. And if it sounds like, well, why are you, duplicating actions here? And I see the power sheets as the GPS, the map, the plan, right? This is the roadmap to where I need to go. And then the Hon is where I'm writing. The Hon is the car. The Hon is driving me. The the hone is hitting the road, hitting the pavement every day, doing the ins and outs every day of the work of achieving my goals. That's what I'm doing here. And so this is something I look at every day, I use every day, but I refer to this when I need to refresh my memory on the map. And I transfer a lot of the things that I have in here to my hone so that I can keep these things in mind. You know, so some of these monthly goals that I've written down here, I put them at in that blank page in the hone for each month. These are the goals that I have for the month, and these are just copied right from my tending list. But because I don't look at my tending list every day, I keep it here, which I do look at every day. And if you're not aware, the Powersheets does not have daily or weekly planning at all, right? So that's why I think it's nice to have an accompanying planner, and Cultivate What Matters has their own, but me personally, I'm using the hone for this year. And that is January in my Powersheets. Everything else is blank at the moment. Oh, let me show you one more thing that I've done in here. So one of the things that I realized is that the hone, while I'm using that like blank page at the beginning of each month to write my goals for the month, I don't quite have the same, like here's an April that's blank. I don't have this same spread for the end of the month. So, and I don't quite have it in the Powersheets. So what I did is I ripped out a sheet of notebook paper. I put some washi tape down. This is obviously like a ridiculously perfect match, and it's because this washi is from a Cultivate What Matters. It's in the Cultivate What Matters shop, so it's like just the perfect washi for putting down this sheet. And what I'll use this blank notebook page is as a review and a reflection of the month. There is room in your Powersheets to do that here. There is literally a monthly review, but I do feel like this could be a little bit limiting, or I feel like I could do like some just brainstorming and brain dumping first before I really lock in some of these recaps for the month. So that's the plan. So that is kind of the progress in the Powersheets. I think everything went as planned, except for probably the time it took me to solidify my goals. I was literally working on them through, like December 30th, to be honest. So for me personally, it's really important that I get my goal planner with ample time before the new year. And you know, if I had gotten my Powersheets on January 1st, I probably wouldn't have gotten into my goals full force until mid or end of February, and that's okay. It's never too late to get started on your goals. Honestly, it's never too late. So that's kind of it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this was insightful and helpful in thinking about your own goals. I'd love to hear what thoughts you might have on goal setting and any tips you might have, or if you would like some insight on the planner and thinking about goals. I'm happy to chat more in the comments. Thank you so much for your time. Wishing you the absolute best in this new year. May it be a joyous and prosperous one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.